Welcome back to day 2 of IEM Gyeonggi. I am Achilleos, back on the desk with Papa Smithy. We'll be bringing you our final match of the day, a best of 3 between Team Liquid and Giants Gaming. We're going to find out who our last team is advancing into the semifinals along Kongdu Monster from Group 2.
Yeah, we had a best of 1 between these two teams earlier in the day. Now in best of 3 action. Should be super interesting to track. Have to give Giants the advantage, given they were able to take down Team Liquid earlier, but just watching more and more of the Team Liquid games, you get a feel they have very much a regimented pick and ban. In fact, both these teams, when we get to the pick and ban, I'll kind of go over it, have some very clear tendencies about champions that are seen as very powerful, that they're leaving up, and other little tweaks they've made. So it's going to be a really intricate best of 3, and this could actually go all 3 games. Yeah,
I think it actually will. Team Liquid, I think they're going to learn from their mistakes. We saw them, in this last I guess we could call it a series against DP, against Dark Passage, that they, strayed away from picking the Rise, something that didn't work out when they played against Giants Gaming in that best of 1, and then, not going for the Vayne again for Piglet, so going for more conventional picks, I suppose, and then putting Golden Glue on something like an Orianna where he has some self-protection, but also really excelled.
But I'm hesitant to read too much into the match against Dark Passage. If you guys watched it, clearly it was very, very one-sided.
Sure.
And the reason why I'm hesitant to read into it is a lot of the laning matchups they chose, for example, the Twitch into Caitlyn, normally seen as a counter matchup against the Twitch. A lot of the picks made sense if you felt like you outskilled your opponent, and Piglet's a confident man, very cocksure, I can understand him. Thinking that he's going to do that in many different situations. But he got punished for that Vayne, Achilleos, and it'd be interesting to see how this one goes, because this should actually be a pretty even matchup.
Yep, well, starting us off on the blue side, looks like Giants have won the coin toss for the start of this. It is Giants Gaming, Flashix in the top lane, Mighty Bear in the jungle, Knight at mid, and Upset and Hustlin at AD and support. Going to see if they can bounce back from that loss against Kongdu Monster. 2-0 victory for Kongdu, secured them that first place spot at Goyang this weekend, tomorrow. We'll see them on Saturday, I suppose, but they'll be playing against Immortals. The winner of this game right here will be playing against Samsung Galaxy. So a tough opponent ahead, but they have to get through each other first.
Yeah, both these teams, of course, put Dark Passage the sword over the course of the tournament. So again, which one's better? We have a best of 1, but only a best of 1 right at the start of the day to get a window in, and now get very much into the best of 3 territory and see, Team Liquid loves to leave up Lee Sin. First picks the Nautilus over it, doesn't take the Lee Sin, loves their Olaf counter pick. They've got kind of very much trying to say the Rise suddenly. We didn't actually see Rise picked or banned in the last game, which was the first time that's happened so far at this tournament. Rise, Syndra, and LeBlanc. Sin is the god tier top laners, but plenty of Cassiopeia, plenty of Orianna. Sand Bench in the jungle has come through as well. So there's a lot of kind of intricacies, and that's why the pick ban should be very representative of today's games, more so than maybe the overall meta, because we saw a Group A meta, definitely some shifts today into a Group B meta, and then we kind of throw it all up in the air for the next stages over at Goyang.
Yeah, another that we've seen from Team Liquid today, really heavy priority on that Nautilus top for Lorlo. He's been having a whale of a time on that one, solo killing Jace, solo killing Maokai, something that you wouldn't normally expect the Nautilus to be able to do. So seems like that's going to be a comfort that they continue to return to, as we can see the team here in the booth with Coach David Lim giving him a little bit of a pep talk before we dive into this pick and ban.
Might be able to get in there very shortly. Last best of 3 of the day. NA vs EU Twitch chat, no doubt going mad. This is what the people have always loved to see. We gave up on beating Koreans, but we can beat each other is kind of the mantra there.
Yep, I know the EU fans probably have that Unicorns of Love gift from IEM Oakland ready to go. The manager drawing EU better than NA. But here we go. Rengar and Syndra are going to be first 2 things taken off the table, so Giants still showing that respect to Team Liquid, or more specifically to Reignover, and getting that out of the jungle.
And he's always been a Rengar player, more of the tank Rengar. We saw it from him at All-Star as well, so we shouldn't be surprised the respect is being shown. Looked like a strong pick at All-Star. It's the full tank build rather than, say, an AD stacking build. But regardless, Rengar's been on the powerful end ever since his rework, so it shouldn't be a surprise to ban it. Okay, now we start to get into the intricacies of today's matches, because Orianna certainly is in the discussion for top mids, but it's not Rise, it's not Syndra, it's not LeBlanc, who we see now banned from Team Liquid, and it's like, okay, what of those mids left? You're probably not going to see the Talia that Samsung was playing, but now suddenly the Cassiopeia goes way up. Knight is very known as a Cassiopeia aficionado. You might even have to see something like that first picked or banned, kind of continuing this mid lane priority, because where does the Rise fall? Given that we saw Team Liquid not pick or ban it, where does it fall here? Because Giants could snap it up, and maybe Golden Glue's kind of got over his jitters from his first match on this lineup and is willing to take it again. This is information we don't have complete.
Yep. You can see, though, Olaf going to be the final ban here from Giants Gaming. Reignover has been running over people in that Dark Passage series with that champion, so.
And this is really smart also, Achilleos, because Team Liquid was happy to give over Lee Sin and take Olaf as the counter pick. Olaf does outduel Lee Sin most of the game, especially in the first 9 levels, with the ability to hit those axes and chase down even after the ward jump. Final ban of Ashe means that Lee Sin is available. Reignover hasn't shown priority, but I guess overall it would just be a Lee Sin versus Rek'Sai battle, you'd have to imagine.
Let's to see what Giants want to do. What they want to pick up here for their first pick. Could just be the Rek'Sai, take away from Reignover. Very strong pick in the jungle.
I actually recommend, I would like to see the Cassiopeia just because that would kind of require Team Liquid to consider the Rise into it, and then it might be a blocker given how poorly the game went earlier to actually be forced to go against the Cassiopeia as Rise after getting kind of schooled earlier in the day. So I like that as an idea, but Lee Sin obviously very much on the high end of the power. And then there's things like Thresh that's been frequently banned. You know, they can just not give away any information. The Nautilus takeaway, you know Team Liquid will draft Nautilus in the first rotation. And very interesting. They don't respect Reignover going off on Lee Sin, and they're just going to take the Rek'Sai and just kind of see what's in. And predictably, I was talking about it, Cassiopeia priority goes up, and you knew the Nautilus would come there. So far, this is very much indicative of today's meta with these two teams.
Yeah, and I mean, Team Liquid is showing in that, in that series against Dark Passage, they did, albeit, playing against arguably a weaker opponent than Giants Gaming.
Okay.
They did.
Arguably is maybe putting it a bit lightly.
I'm trying to be nice here, but they did correct a lot of the big flaws that they had in their series against Giants in that best of one, which was the roaming from Golden Glue. He was joining in the team fights more quickly, and then Lorlo with the teleports was very much on point. So they identified that those were two big key factors that were kind of holding them back and restricting them, because the Rise had done no damage in that series, and with Golden Glue arriving in the team fights, it really helped them stomp out those games.
But it is tricky to draw too much inference from Dark Passage. Dark Passage kind of waved the white flag pretty early in all 3 of their games, so sure, Team Liquid under low pressure was doing the right things. You can expect that with good mechanical players even on a new lineup. Giants is going to be a very different beast, so let's see if we can echo those comments about this series, because it's very much a best of 3 with a look to the past, but also a look to the future for both these teams. They're going to look to be coming up through the middle towards the top of the table in EU and NALCS respectively.
Well, next 2 picks here for Giants going to be that Jhin coming in with Ashe banned. It's the most logical pick that they would go to. It's been very popular in a lot of these scrims out here. And now Poppy, of course, in the top lane. That's a no-brainer.
Nothing really shown here. We're expecting it to be Nautilus versus Poppy, but always the chance that Matt will flex the Nautilus into bot. I was actually speaking to Fiscio about the Nautilus flexings. Obviously, the LCK All-Stars were doing this a lot back at at the All-Star event last week, and there is a bit of a question mark over how powerful Nautilus support can really be. Still is very telegraphed, still does walk up in melee range, pop a shield, and yes, okay, if he gets an auto attack, gets more of a shield, but he's not a lane dominant support. And Piglet, 3 seconds in, are they going to go for a double gambit here? It looks like they are, and this is interesting to see. So Reignover is actually going to take his carry pants on and go for the Hecarim. He's not going to take the Lee Sin, so good prediction there from Giants, but Hecarim is the pick. We talked about right at the start of the first day that Hecarim was coming back into the meta. Deals with the AoE clears on Raptors and also the Krug super well, and is another great initiation champion. But Piglet is playing with fire. He already was punished once for the Vayne pick, and there still is Cassiopeia on the board, so we might see the same scenario once again. Actually, no. Cassiopeia is taken away. My apologies.
Yeah, so I think that's why they are comfortable to go back to this pick with the Ashe taken off the table. You don't have to worry about the arrows, which means that you don't have to burn the tumble, and then the Petrifying Gaze is not there to lock down the Vayne. So it looks like they're going to be more comfortable going into this matchup. There's still the Poppy with the Keeper's Verdict that they have to be concerned about, though.
But the only tech they really can take in this last round is the Zyra, who of course does have very good trade harass, will do a good job in lane. But the Victor obviously isn't going to get near Vayne. Ideally, in a game where it's even, it's very hard to walk up as Victor onto the Vayne. And yeah, well scouted out. The Cassiopeia taken away. A lot of the punishing picks for Giants to draft against Vayne are gone. And now we're waiting for the last pick. Could be a top lane pick. Could also be a support, waiting to see where the Nautilus is going.
I'm curious if Matt has been practicing at all the Misfortune support to run into this Zyra. I don't know if it's in his wheelhouse at all, but could be a very heavy harassed lane to run into the Zyra Jhin combo.
I don't know if it's enough peel for specifically the Vayne, so that's why I think it's a little bit tricky to pull off there. Like, Thresh could definitely be drafted here. They have a lot of damage from the jungle, and Hecarim does do a lot of damage if he gets tanky. Karma's risky. Obviously, Karma, this is an all-in lane, kind of like Vayne Janna, Vayne Karma. Shield lanes with Vayne either go very, very well or very, very poorly. Jin's been toned down because lethality is not as cost-effective as a purchase as armor penetration was. We're wondering what lanes Vayne can get through, and the Jhin part of things might be manageable, but the Zyra might pull it off the edge. So a lot of intrigue here around specifically the 2v2, because every time you see Vayne drafted, you wonder, can he get away with the Vayne? Because late game Vayne, everyone knows she can mow down the tanks that define the meta right now.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Piglet doing his damnedest to get through that Poppy, get through that Rek'Sai. The first time around wasn't able to do so, so gonna take another stab at it this time with a different roster of champions coming through, so we're going to get ready to go ahead and load up onto the Rift.
Yeah, better scenario here for that Vayne. Because the Cassiopeia is off the board, you have to like it more, but we're going to get a window of information here. Can you pick the Vayne when you don't have 100% information? Can you take it not last pick? That's what we're kind of find out during the course of this game.
Yep. Well, Rainover certainly going to be looking to pop up on that Hecarim. Let's go ahead, load up onto the Rift for our first game of this best of 3. Winner moves on to Gyeonggi this weekend. And welcome to Summoner's Rift. See both of these teams yet again fanning out, going for a 5-point. Nothing too cheeky going to be coming out here. It's a lot on the line, and none of these teams want to put that to risk.
Yeah, both these teams, it always is a risk to show your lineup before they can really gestate. These are players who have only played together for a short time. Rainover only reunited with the squad after All-Stars around the same time that I flew back into the country. There was only so much time that Rainover could get here, so I imagine they're running on just a handful of scrims experience at this point. Took out Dark Passage, that part was predictable. Giants eked ahead of them the last time we saw this and did look superior. Now it's their 4th game of this set. Now they're going to kind of have some of those tendencies down. We've seen the day meta really evolve, and this is kind of the next point is, what about carry junglers for Rainover? Because we know he can play the Rek'Sai. We know that he can cover strong lanes. We're still not 100% convinced on Golden Glue and Laurel and how they'll flow into Rainover's playstyle, and now we're seeing Rainover throw a curveball and go for more of the carry style.
Yeah, I mean, he's been, kind of bordering on that with the Olaf, at least the way that he's been playing it. Really just getting up in faces and wrecking them with his axes. But this is going to be a whole other animal with this Hecarim. But, I mean, the tools there with that ultimate is going to be the Onslaught of Shadows to disrupt upset during the curtain ball is going to be excellent.
It's very interesting to see Rek'Sai starting blue. You almost never see a Rek'Sai start on the blue side. Got a leash from the Poppy who will exit lane first. I imagine this is so that Giants can really set up the bot lane to potentially punish the Vayne. You never want to be in a scenario where you don't get level 2 over Vayne, because then she gets access to Tumble and, for example, the Condemn, and can actually start to win trades. You need to control this bot lane if you are the Giants. So I think that's actually pretty smart. It's a big adaptation. It means you won't have that blue buff to hand over to the Victor. Suddenly Victor really does need to stay in lane until 1250 gold because he doesn't have the blue buff to just spam out 2 E's every rotation and kind of get through the laning phase pre-first Hex Core. But it isn't going to be a cheese gank up top. It is very much just, I can't afford to have my bot lane leash for me, therefore I'm going to start top lane.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that, saying that they have to control this bottom lane, especially in this matchup, is just pretty indicative of like how you should beat TL in general, because they always focus around this bottom lane. So if you can control that, if you can control Piglet, get upset ahead, then that should spell success for you, as long as Rainover can't just run over every other lane.
But then kind of the hope is, right, where do Lorlo and Golden Glue fall on that? Because if Golden Glue can actually come through as a carry threat like he has been from time to time, specifically in the challenger scene, then it gives a new dimension. If you just know camp bot, take away Team Liquid's chance of win, it makes them predictable. It makes it very easy to prep against them. So we're very much looking for the next step for specifically Golden Glue, as Lorlo is actually coming out very much the dog on these trades with Poppy.
Yeah, we see him going quite low, both of them using up 2 of those charges, but here's Rainover. But W comes up from Poppy, still get a little bit of damage in. Oh, actually, the Dredge Line lands. He has to burn the flash. Rainover will take a turret shot, and that knocks him down, so he's going to have to recall, but that's still going to be good to get that flash away from Flashix.
And then you saw Piglet on your screens having to recall. That's what happens when you can prep the lane completely ideally for Giants against that main.
Oh, Matt
now
can get rooted. Deadly Flourish, the plants are there. Flash forward and upset. Going to get him with a last shot.
Now Matt needed to respect the amount of bullets that were in the chamber. He had the crit up. A normal auto attack would not have taken him down. Just playing with fire in top.
Oh yeah, last minion shot would have done it.
That was actually the damage over time from the level 1 W. It took him down to 20 health.
That was a little too close for comfort, I'm sure. Now Mighty Bear coming into the mid lane looking for Golden Glue. Golden Glue's got to flash in. Golden flashing back away. Yeah, one more smack in with that red buff, but it's not going to be enough to take him down.
But isn't it just crazy that something that, might be missed if you're not focusing on it, the blue buff start for Rek'Sai has completely warped the bot lane. They thought they were comfortable enough in the matchup to take it down, but just through sheer wave manipulation and not having leash duties, the whole bot lane changed in identity right after the game had started. Piglet and Matt are caught off guard. One has to back early, the other one is killed. No flash now on the Karma, suddenly can't be the one-man laning phase that Vayne really needs to baby her through it. And this game, very, very intriguing already.
Yeah, and I mean, this is going to be a massive imbalance in the bottom lane. Piglet's already been having
look, the lane's pushing as well.
A rough enough time here, but now it's going to be a serrated Dirk, Doran's Blade Jhin up against the Doran's Blade Cull of the Vayne.
I'm not a big fan of serrated Dirk at this present point, although...
Oh boy, Piglet. Rooted yet again. Matt's going to go forward, try to trade back some damage. Gets the tether in. Upset not going to find that 4th crit onto Piglet, but he will get the grenade and another bullet in anyway, so he still trades back a decent bit of damage.
Let's confirm if you're tuning in late. It is 623, same patch as All-Stars, so serrated Dirk no longer is the flat armor penetration, so I actually like more longswords. 4 longswords, if you can fit it in, I think is always superior to the serrated Dirk. Honestly, Caulfield's Warhammer, a couple of longswords, and then just actually finishing the whole item to me is the most power, most bang for your buck, so I'm not a huge fan of rushing the serrated Dirk. But hey, if 4 armor penetration on the very squishy Vayne is enough to secure a kill, then worth is worth, right?
Indeed, you can see Upset Hustler not worried about playing this far up at all. Still chunking out Piglet, now a 10 CS lead coming in. Be able to answer back a few of those with the minions crashing into the turret, but now looking at mid lane, it's going to be the Gravity Well coming down. Knight has to flash away, the poison not ticking on him anymore, so he will make it out alive, but that's both summoners down.
Yeah, Knight tried to be really confident, didn't want to use both summoners, but even with the Negatron Cloak, took massive damage in that trade, as we see. Predictably, Vayne struggling through lane phase. This only matters if they take the turret or if they get multiple kills. If Vayne exits lane, even 20 CS behind, I mean, it's Cull, so the payoff for Vayne is always there as a champion. With the Cull, it'll be even larger. They've got to keep this up, but they're going to be overextending, and Rainover is closing in on level 6.
Piglet holding on for dear life. It's going to be a couple CS behind at this point.
I mean,
Granted, it is skewed a little bit because of those plants, so we don't really know how many lane CS he's behind. But oh, Golden Glue coming down to the river. He's going to get taken out. Rainover still not having that level 6, still going to be able to take out Upset to find an answering kill.
That one out of context was a bit weird.
Yeah, a little confusing as to why Golden Glue is placing himself there. Gets caught, but at least Rainover is there to pick up the pieces. Unfortunately, no assist going to be coming in for Piglet or Matt.
We'll get a replay, I'm sure, to just determine what was happening there. I guess he could have been baiting for Rainover, who might have already been level 6 if he was 5.
Ah, he was picking up the...
He was picking up the honey fruit in the lane and just got burst. That's the thing that Cyrus support can do.
It looked like he roamed down the river while he was already at low HP, but here he was just taking a lot of damage. Greenhall, speaking of taking damage, Mighty Bear trying to get to his tunnel system, not going to be able to do it. Rainover does have to take the kill in the end. Helicopters his way to that killing blow just to confirm it, but Piglet now getting rooted, going to get hit by that deadly flourish, takes a hell of a lot of damage from these plants, and he's going to have to back off yet again.
Bit absent-minded, though, of Giants just not respect the fact that Rainover could be bot lane. Level 6 was observed for him earlier. Not sure if they spotted that, but regardless, put to good use, and They really wanted to give the kill to Piglet. It looked like Mighty Bear was going to get through the tunnel, so had to be clipping him with the Q, so Rainover had to pick up the kill. But anything they can do to help Piglet towards his completed item duo. It's going to be the Shiv and Infinity Edge, which is very much the new Vayne build, even after the Blade of the Ruin King tweaks. But anything to get him through the early game is exactly what Team Liquid needs.
I see a bit of a shaky turnaround here against Flaxish in the top lane, as Lorlo has started to really command the trades on that Nautilus and is currently up in CS, denying a full wave as well, as the Poppy does not have the teleport available.
I mean, you could say that he's gone double laning items, though. So he's very much going to be a bit delayed on his first item completion, or at least to the inevitable Spirit Visage and Sunfire Core that these tank top laners are so well known for. But yeah, I mean, obviously 10 CS up, not going to be massive, but is enough to dwell on. And it's only 13 CS for the Jhin, so even though it felt like Jhin was dominating, has some good buys for sure. But if it only stays at this touching distance for the Vayne, it's very, very much par for the course for Piglet.
Oh boy, speaking of which, Piglet. Root not going to come through. Deadly Flourish. Not going to hit, but that's a curtain call. He flashes one, dodges the second. Third will hit. Has to heal for the fourth. Piglet will make it out alive.
Teleport up for Lorlo. Is for Flax as well. No teleports used or invested in that situation. But we'll try and pop apart and stay in.
Yeah, just this constant onslaught of abilities coming at him. Just burning both those summoner spells. Bit of a rough patch here for him as he gets about halfway to stacking that call up.
So the playstyle that made Vayne so successful way back when, you remember the days of the purple build, like the Ruin King and Yomu's Ghostblade, was about getting early turrets, back in the lane swap meta especially, and then parking someone you couldn't deal with in the side lane and basically assassinating people that walked up, camping the brush, assassinating people. Doesn't have the wave clear to deal with things as Rainover's come back again.
Oh boy, Exhaust coming out on the upset. He's going to get rooted by the Zyra, but dashes forward with the onslaught of shadows, and that's going to be a third kill coming through for Rainover. 100% of TL's kills going over onto him. Piglet going low. Mighty Bear still coming in, but he has to respect. Oh, we're going to have to get a replay of that one. Has to respect the True Silver bolts, but never mind. Zyra is going to start popping off. Hustling barely walking away with his life, finding a double kills. He takes out the bottom lane of TL. We'll have to get a replay of both of these events, as we kind of missed out on those, but Golden Glue coming up big in the mid lane. Let's take a look at this.
Well, this is very much him getting priority in the mid lane. No defensive wards down for Knight. He wanted to just go for a casual stroll to the bot lane through the jungle and was assassinated. We also missed in the transition. Aggressive flash into very nice stuff. Hustling, crucially, doesn't die. We've got 2 3-0 members, in fact a 3-0-1 on the side of Giants, but the kill distribution is certainly not ideal. If you get early kills on Hackerem, the standard build of skipping over jungle item and rushing Trinity Force means you can get damage and tankiness on the relatively low budget income of the jungle. So very important that Rainover, it's Rainover or Piglet really for gold on the side of TL, but Zyra, sure, will do decent damage. Sure, might be able to harass a bit stronger on the Vayne, but it's not the ideal kill distribution that you want. You want to see upset with more of that gold.
Yeah, for sure. So 3-0-1. For the Zyra. Sork's boost already completed as that sight's down and working towards that Frost Queens.
Full mage time for this Zyra. Got all that extra gold.
I'm sure we'll see a Leandri's, then a Redemption coming out.
I think I just skipped the Leandri's. Skip the Redemption, sorry. Just go straight into damage. I think you need to just... You have such low base stats on Piglet. We already saw the build in earlier games. We'll likely go pretty disrespectful in terms of lack of magic. It was just maybe a Hex Drinker. Crucially, of course, did not pick up a QSS in the last time we saw him on the Vayne. I think you just go full damage because I don't think you can fit in a Redemption unless it's a late-game Redemption. And I think you just power people down. Get very much into the upgraded Sightstone AP item and the Eye of the Watcher, I believe it is, and just pump out the damage from there.
All right, well, let's see Mighty's beginning to pumping out the damage, going for that Tiamat. Feeling comfortable enough to just go for that, maybe become that split push threat potentially later on in the game.
All eyes are on Rainover. We're looking at maybe a 16-minute Trinity Force, so Hackerem from there. You overextended in any lane, you'll take a lot of punishment, and of course they've been overextended traditionally in bot lane, trying to get down this turret. So getting the turret before Trinity Force is completed on the Hackerem is so important for Giants, and will be first brick.
Yep, they go ahead and they get it. Now it's 2.1 thousand in their favor. Rainover coming up to the top side of the map. It's going to be the Keeper's Verdict.
Nice!
And nicely timed
Flax
by
has just been
Flaxius. That was
super
really good
on those Poppy ultimates. In fact, this tournament in general, I feel like a lot of those missed during LCK season, but these foreign teams have got their Poppy displacements.
But here we go. That's going to be the Dredge Line coming in after the ultimate from the Nautilus. There's not even a turret, but yeah, Rainover actually getting low. The last shot. Wow, what a turnaround. Flaxius just styling on Rainover and Lorlo, coming up with a solo kill in the 1v2. Now Golden Glue in a bad spot, gets a petrifying gaze on Hustlin. He will go down to the turret, but they still get the Cassiopeia.
Zyra, of course, picks up the kill credit though, Achilles.
4-1.
They can turn this into turret damage. They certainly will. It's a 3-1 advantage. Mancha doesn't seem to be up on Matt. Will be up very soon.
He's not hitting the minions either. They might be able to just finish this.
So big. If they can force the Vayne to farm with no turret somewhere on the map, there it is. Nice stuff. And crucially, TL haven't even taken the top turret. And hey, Piglet's got time and bot to pick up CS, but Vayne famously isn't going to push that lane too fast.
Yeah, so this looked really good. Got the ultimate coming through there to pop up into the Dredge Line, but Poppy does some damage.
I mean, in fact, it's just known as a carry-minded player. Yasuo top, which he actually flashed in one of the earlier games. Didn't lock in, has been going with the Poppy, but seems to have the same carry mindset. Not a lot of players would know their damage output as Poppy and just flash Q, trust in the mechanics. If you flash and just get nothing out of that, you've wasted such an important engage tool. Really clean stuff from Flaxish. And going 1-for-1 in that scenario while your team gets all the things. It's sure they traded kills, but got the turrets, now 2 down. The gold lead is specifically a macro one for Giants with those 2 turrets, and small 3,000 gold lead so far.
Yep. And I mean, having Hustlin get that kill in mid completely just doesn't even matter anymore because the turret went down for Giants. So now just really stretching that gold lead, 3,100, so just hacking on an extra 1K in a matter of a minute.
Now Piglet goes to the only lane where he has a defensive turret to be able to cover. Only safe lane available for him, and of course turret dives are a possibility, so running out of places for Vayne to farm. Still looking for 2 items. Shiv, Infinity Edge look a really long way away at this point in the game.
Yeah, Cole should be finished stacking though.
I believe it's still got
9 CS.
Okay, yep, watching it myself.
So pretty close. It's hard to see when there's like the any digit with a 1. It's hard to see. Piglet though, taking a hell of a lot of damage yet again. Has to use the heal. Barely gets anything back for that.
Yeah, upset.
And there he goes. He's going to have to peel back, and this might just be the 3rd Tier 1 tower going down in favor of Giants.
The ultimate only just came up, so wasn't able to channel it. Karma probably would have stopped all the bolts. That's going to...
Oh, Keeper's Verdict does land onto Golden Glue, boots him back. And that's going to be the end of that engagement. Giants are just free to take this turret up top.
That's really good stuff from Giants. They're keeping the clock on. Even though they didn't kill Piglet, they got what they wanted. They got the turret. They'll keep pushing. The scaling is there for TL.
Oh, right over though.
That's
yeah, he's just going to find a solo kill.
Die, though.
Gets him after the flash, and he'll just use the ultimate to exit over the wall underneath that Tier 2. So Upset not able to avenge the death of his support. But again, this is just all of the gold being poured onto Rainover and not really being shared with Piglet or Golden Glue. Just the 1 kill. I mean, granted, they have those assists. Piglet has 1 assist, but it's not nearly the right allocation that you would want. Golden Glue's looking to turn that around, though. Flashes forward. Knight messing up his, but now here comes Mighty Bear, going to help turn this. Golden Glue says, you know what, I have to go all in for it. Gets the last Twin Fang, but can he make it out alive? It's not looking terribly likely, but Matt is there to back him up, throws a shield on him, gets him that movement speed, and Golden Glue will make it out with the solo kill.
I mean, Nice is not respecting how far back in lane he needs to be. Sure, by the end of it, he's near his turret, but nice attempt by Golden Glue. Didn't even need to hit the stun. The damage from the Petrifying Gaze is enough, and Knight tries to find range to get back in for some trades, but the 1 trade he made, the 1 power transfer, sped him up, but wasn't enough. There's more action actually on the Rift.
Oh yeah, Piglet getting jumped on yet again. Nowhere to go. 4 members of Giants around him, and Matt on the opposite side, in the side of the top lane, and Piglet will go down for the 2nd time this game.
I was able to talk to a very noted Vayne picker at All-Star. Was on the analyst desk with Double Lift. I'm like, okay, everyone's talking up the Vayne, the win rate, just how well she does in solo queue. Is it there for competitive? And even though he's taken a step back, his Pearl of Wisdom was basically, it's a counter pick only. There are some lanes you can get through, but it just isn't strong enough to lane in a lot of scenarios. And generalizing here, we're seeing the same problems Vayne's already had. Rotating around the map, getting lots of turrets. What's Vayne doing? I guess she's slowly pushing in waves. No sign of Static Shiv yet. No sign of Infinity Edge yet. Now that build's so much more expensive. Before it was, I've got Blade of the Ruined King. You can't walk up to me. I'm going to chase you down and kill you. Now it's 2 items to really have any relevancy. and it's being exploited. Piglet has not achieved anything in this game, and it's one of those things where, is the ticking time bomb of late game Vayne worth it when you're getting bossed around this hard? It's not true for Nasus, and I remain to be convinced that it's true for the Vayne either.
Well, so far not so good. Piglet still a little ways away from getting that Infinity Edge, getting that Static Shiv. You can see the Zeal in the inventory. Pickaxe and the BF sword, but still needs a hell of a lot more gold before he can complete that. It's fallen behind about 30 CS.
The hope here for TL is really about mistakes on the side of Giants, specifically in getting down deep vision. With 3 outer turrets down, shouldn't be getting these unanswered blue bars, should be taking things like Drake. Hasn't been a Drake taken this game at all. Giants need to keep up the pace. Very good with the rotations. 3 turrets down around 15 minutes is really good stuff, but the next step, warding those camps, taking those Drakes, punishing TL for trying to play side lanes without any sort of coverage is what they need to do, and this would be against the run of play.
Yeah, we can see this. They start up the Dragon Rainover already down to 50%. The Flourish not going to connect, and Mighty Bear waiting over the wall. Looks like they're going to leash this out, but now the curtain call being opened up. Looking for Rainover. Matt going to have the body block. Piglet gets caught by the plants, jumps over the wall with the glass cone, and the Ocean Drake just going to be handed over to the Giants. We see that it's going to be a mountain coming up next in 6 minutes.
I mean, it was an unrealistic start of the Drake there from TL. Now, if that is just so that he could have space to take top turret, then that would be the second level shot calling that might work. Rainover's going to find a friend right here. Oh, he's not moving though.
Yep. Very smartly just going to finish out the channel.
Oh.
If I
Cool
don't
as
move,
a cucumber.
It's literally if I don't move, they can't see me.
Predator rules apply.
Matt going to get his back delayed, however, and now Giants starting to group up as a full 5-man in this bottom lane, maybe looking for the first tier 2. See the TP coming in from behind, but Lorlo, he's a ways away.
1,000 gold between the teams, but the Trinity Force Hecarim is here. They want the pick. If they can get Jhin or the Victor, this could be a 1-fight for TL.
But Matt goes low, and Piglet's basically out of the fight. Rainover coming in the back, gets on top of an upset, knocks him into half HP, but Rainover, he's going to go down. Hustling, finding the kill yet again. Lorlo doing what he can to trade it back. Piglet falls. It's just Golden Glue left to dish out the damage. They do kill the Victor, and Upset is low, can't move forward. Golden Glue pinned into the wall by Poppy, still going low, but still alive, still pushing out those poison damage. The Deadly Flare is not going to connect. He's able to find flashes. He's able to find Mighty Bear. There it is! Just about the aces. Hustlin's the only one left is Plants, finishing off Golden Glue, and now it's up to Matt and Lorlo to run down this Zyra, but I think that they can accomplish that with relative ease. Just run along the wall. There it is. One more attack. That's an ace in favor of Team Liquid, but they lost several members to accomplish it.
And the big story here was the fact that Cassiopeia stayed alive, had mana, was able to turn it around, because midway through this fight, you're like, all right, Giants, they're going to ice the game from here. They're going to get a couple of members. 2 carries go down quickly. Rainover and Piglet. Korean duo down. You're like, okay, Giants have got this, but they get greedy. They're disrespecting a full health Cassiopeia. Realistically, it's only Poppy going in for damage. There's no more range damage left to finish off Golden Glue. And the moment that Cassiopeia doesn't have to worry about damage threats, it doesn't matter if she has 100 health or infinite health, because she's able to chase down, sure dies, but in the course of getting a massive team fight victory for Team Liquid.
Yeah, getting a triple kill in that fight was huge for Golden Glue. Piglet still killless in this game, but the upside is that Hustlin now has 6 of the 10 kills. Everybody else just having 1. Just okay, I will share with you 1 kill. Right over there, going low. Shields in there for Matt. Oh!
Matt
walking to the opposite side. Matt going to the right. Rainover to the left, and the 4th bullet finds him.
Well, that's the C word, Achilles. That's the communication that just hasn't been developed for this roster, even though they have the English speaker in Rainover. The body blocking needed to be on point. We've seen some great skirting of that ultimate in this tournament, but that was not a highlight reel clip there for Rainover.
No, it was not, and with Rainover going down, that's the tier 2 mid-turret falling. Bottom. Now maybe the next target is the rest of Giants rotating down here yet again. And without Rainover up, it's going to be considerably more difficult to hold this. It looks like they're just going to have to surrender this. Rainover now spawned, but doesn't even have the ultimate back up yet. The Flourish not going to root anybody. The Gravity Well will find Lorlo, but he's still a very tanky Nautilus, so he'll be fine for now.
Giants have just been so smart. Keep rotating around turrets, because you look down TL's side. Who's cleaning these waves quickly? It's not going to be Piglet, doesn't have Static Shiv yet, and even then, you know, obviously Vayne not the greatest in doing that. And then Golden Glue's pretty single target on Cassiopeia. Sure, you're spamming out Twin Fangs, but you're not using those to harass. You're not looking to zone. If your flash is not up, you're not going to be able to go for an engage either. So if the engage threat of Rainover is unaccounted for and can look for a flank, then you back away as Giants. But if he's dead, you just go in there, get as many orders as you can, and watch as TL are kind of just completely helpless at stopping the structures from going down.
Yeah. I mean, TL got an ace on Giants, and since then Giants have gained 1,000 gold.
I mean, TL's hope here is getting more picks, taking a Baron, and then the Baron making up for their lack of siege and really finding their way forward through that particular objective.
Yeah. We'll see if they can find their way to another Dragons that's getting ready to spawn in the next 2 minutes, or if Giants will be able to pick up their second one. Mountain Drake, certainly something that TL could utilize at this point. Help knock down these structures, because they don't have a whole lot of turret damage. Rainover are going to be doing the most with that Trinity Force.
Because no one's going to be building a Locket, you look at suddenly this Zyra, who of course has 6 of the 11 kills, has a lot of damage. Listen to me, going full damage Zyra like she needs to. Maybe even a Void Staff next for the Spirit Visage of the world. Hustlin is a damage that needs to be respected.
And they try to throw out the Grasping Roots to get Matt, but walks back the opposite way, and now TL will know that Giants have infested their jungle, so they'll go ahead and peel back into the mid lane where it's relatively safe. But this is a very poor spot to be in if you're Team Liquid. Don't want to go down in the first game.
I mean, the game plan doesn't work when Piglet can't enter a side lane. And for many reasons this game, mostly because of the smart rotations from Giants, but also Piglet being behind. He's going to look for a gank here, but he needs to really translate some of this. He's still scoreless in 24 minutes.
Well, they get the pop up. It's going to be the shield thrown up there by Flaxius, but can he get the Keeper's Verdict? He does eject Piglet. Is it enough? Meanwhile, yeah, Baron going down. Lorlo can't even get the kill on the Poppy, who has TP available. Rainover goes in, though. Smite steals the Baron. He's going to pay for it with his life. Golden Glue goes in, has the exhaust coming up, as well as the curtain call, and the Chaos Storm ticking through. Matt just going to be the sacrificial lamb. Fourth shot comes through. Golden Glue getting hit up by that. He will fall in the end. So the 3 members of TL around the Baron pit, they get the steal, but they pay for it with their lives. And now Giants, they're just going to charge straight up the mid.
Giants didn't respect. They weren't there to stop the Hecarim coming through. They knew that Ultimate was up and there was a chance, but no one was on top of it. Not that they had super many tools. With Poppy dead, it had to be Zyra stopping it. Didn't happen. Baron buff minions, they really want an inhibitor.
Yeah, TP coming through here as Flaxius tries to join in. Lorlo goes really low, and now it's just Piglet trying to defend, but this turret is going to go down. Can they get the inhibitor is going to be the question. Looks like Giants don't even want to stick around to find out if it's possible. They're going to peel back, but now a TP from Lorlo. They're going to be really aggressive. Rainover charging down the lane as well. Can they find a fight? There's no Onslaught of Shadows.
I don't know about this.
No ultimate from the Nautilus. He's going to get pinned into the wall, taking out a half HP already. Redemption coming through. Doesn't even matter. Upset. Just going to poke him out with that final shot. Lorlo gives away his life and his teleport for free.
That engage would have made perfect sense if Giants overextended to get hits onto the inhibitor, got poked a little bit, and then Nautilus cleans it up. Didn't happen here, in a Mountain Drake, you know what, okay, 10% more damage to turrets, but not really much else to call. Rainover's not warded. You know, there's no vision on him. He comes from the darkness, smites away. Mistake from Giants, no other way to put it. Zyra should have been in position to first ward over and then look to interrupt. It didn't happen. They got some kills. They got an inhibitor turret. That's still nice for Giants, but this should never have happened. Poppy was tussling with 2 members in bot lane, was in range to interrupt the Nautilus, so it was always going to be just 3 members. And you got to dot your I's and cross your T's when you're trying to take Baron, and Giants did not do that.
No, they did not, but they still get a bit of profit out of that. It doesn't look like TL is going to be able to utilize this Baron buff to acquire too many objectives on the map. They finally got that tier 1 in the bottom lane, but the tier 1 in mid still standing. The Waves did a lot of work on that tier 2 and top, however, so Giants, that is very close to going down.
Giants are happy footing here. They saw 1 turret go down. TL first instinct was to back away, but they're on a ward. They realize, hey, why not keep pushing? And even though they have short-range siege, they have damage to turrets when there's no one around to mine them. So extra objective there just because Giants didn't make a clear call of what to do at the time.
And I'm respecting that push in the bottom lane, and they paid for it. So actually TL, you know, kind of coming away with more than they should have.
Well, Piglet has decided that wave clear is not a thing. There's no wave clear on TL's side. Sure, Cassiopeia is decent, but that's about it.
Helicopter Hecarim. He's just going to sit in the middle of him and
yes. Sitting in the middle of him as Jin just kills him.
Got the wave, it's worth.
Don't have the tank items for that yet. It's only still Negatron and Deadman's Plate. So Deadman's is, you're spending a lot of gold on more of the movement speed and the damage that comes from it rather than pure tankiness. It's not a Randuin's that would go a long way against the Lethality and Infinity Edge. And Golden Blue.
Oh boy, Golden Blue gonna get popped up. The gravity well there. Try to root him down. He's got a lot of heals, but the Chaos Storm is just sitting on top of him. One more tick might do it, but it expires actually. Upset is able to find Matt, but he is gonna go down as Piglet finally picks up his first kill of the game. Second kill of the game, rather, as he finished off Knight. Piglet going low, gets caught out, Rainover stunned at the wall. Flashix trying to equalize the kill count here. Might be able to find a double, but the Condemn comes through, and Piglet's kiting it out quite well. Lorlo still a tanky monster in the middle of Giants, just CCing them up as best as he can, but Rainover and Piglet, it's so risky for them to enter. You can see the stun into the wall, that will be the horse going down. But the Poppy is going to follow suit as Piglet is finally starting to go off. Dredgeline not going to connect from Lorlo, and it looks like Mighty Bear and Hustlin will make it out with their lives, but finally this Vayne has come online in TL. They can pick up this tier 1 mid-turret.
Just not enough damage to take down the Vayne. Knight caught out of position. Big engage from Hecarim does pay off all in all, because Piglet's the one picking up the gold. Going for this double Zeal item build that's very, very popular in solo queue. The reduced damage from the Phantom Dancer was very relevant there, probably kept him alive or away from a sliver of health. Suddenly, buffs are being stolen. Suddenly, map control is being ceded. And you just see a couple of team fights going the way of Team Liquid and them winning the game despite Giants playing so well in the first 20 minutes.
Now let's take a look at that fight here. So it looked like Golden Glue, really called out that this was going to be a catastrophic play for them.
This time it was an early channel and a flash shield. It means that Golden Guild lives early, and crucially, the last shot from Upset doesn't kill the Cassidy. Now she's out of the fight, so it's just like being killed. Nice engage from Rainover. Suddenly Knight is dead, suddenly Upset, who's fishing for a kill, is dead, and there's just no damage left. Sure, Hustler does some decent damage, but Piglet's pretty adept at taking him down. And Vayne has always been great at auto attack canceling and getting away from a melee threat like Poppy, so no way to finish her off. These are the sort of fights where Vayne thrives, and you can't afford to have another handful of these if you're Giants and want to take down game 1.
Yeah, I think a little bit unnecessary for Rainover to have died there, but albeit maybe it baited the Poppy back in so they could get that third kill. Either way, Piglet finally putting 3 on the board from that exchange.
And there's the items.
Has the static shift done. Now that No Magic Mantle going to be looking for a QSS. Rainover going to get caught though. Guardian Angel is there. Has the onslaught of shadows. Can he make it out is the question. Goes over the wall, but it doesn't matter. That empowered auto attack from Knight will finish him off mid-cast. And now with Rainover dead, fortunately, there's not much. Fortunately for TL, there's not much the Giants could really take right now. Baron not up for 1:20. Dragon not for 2 minutes just about. TL just going to have to peel back and try to defend this inhibitor.
It's definitely the Hecarim problem where you get a fast start, you get your Trinity Force out, and you're like, yeah, got 2 tank items. But you see, the Jhin has Infinity Edge. The lethality is now scaled. He's got attack speed, and he's got Lord Dominix. So you're still going to be dead if your Rainover dies twice. Guardian Angel, now no longer relevant. There's the inhibitor that they prepped earlier. And for every step forward, there's a couple of steps to the side or back from Team Liquid.
Yep. So losing that inhibitor going to be pretty crucial now with Baron spawning in 50 seconds. They're really going to have to prep these waves carefully if they want to be able to contest that objective, as well as get some vision control. They do have some wards in the pit and in the river, but looks like those might be getting cleared out at the moment. Can't tell if Upset is, he's taken out 1. So they're getting some vision back.
Endlessly amusing that Poppy and Nautilus have the same items. Only a Doran's Ring traded for a Corrupting Potion.
I've been saying it time and time again. It's like spring all over again.
They're pretty good items, it turns out. They've been tweaked since then in terms of cost efficiency and gold. But
they're still wonderful.
They still make tanks do damage, which is pretty happy times.
But not to each other. Never to each other.
No. I mean, we did see some Lorlo solo kills on Nautilus, but I'm going to say that's an exception, not the rule.
Yeah. Take that one with a grain of salt. But, that tier 2 turret and top still not going down. Waves have been hammering away at it as they crash. But you can see now Giants moving in. Using the sweeper to clear out that blue trinket ward, but they'll get a couple down for them.
Interesting. So actually, you don't normally catch this because your eyes are elsewhere, but Hustlin bought Rylai's, sold it for Leandry's. So not for Leandry's, for
Luden's
for the Luden's Echoes. Getting my L's mixed up there. So really adjust the build for just pure burst damage. They want to take down the squishy Vayne as fast as possible. Piglet's returned to the build, so still no Guardian Angel, so still no QSS. Not demanded in this game like it was perhaps in other games, but
thought maybe that would be it, but it's not. Dredgeline comes in, they find Mighty Bear. As that Guardian Angel, they almost pop him. Not able to find it yet. Stranglethorn's not going to pop anybody up. Ultimate from Lorlo. Catches Upset, but he doesn't take a whole lot of damage. Now TL starting to kite back down the mid lane. Everyone on their side, relatively healthy. Mighty Bear going to come out with the recall. Has that Void Rush so he can come back.
All 9 flashes available, so just waiting for someone to really feel it and go for engage for now. Okay. Only the Nautilus ultimate is the, consequential investment in that fight.
Yeah, Exhaust is burned out as well. Or Exhaust available as well, rather. So now we can see Giants moving up towards this Baron. Oh, they find Matt. And Hustlin's just going to take that one. He says, don't worry, guys, I got it.
They kind of made their really big misplay around the Baron the last time, allowed Rainover to steal. This time, Rainover will be in vision, but risky stuff here from Giants.
That is Lorlo walking up into the front lines. Call going to be opened up, looking for Golden Glue or Piglet, but Lorlo's doing a better job of body blocking than Matt did the first time around. Flashix gonna go ahead, nice sidestep there with the flash for Golden Glue, trying to burn through this pop. He gets stunned into the wall. They'll pop him up. Lorlo's ultimate coming back up, and now Rainover coming in on the bottom side, going low. Upset's gonna take him out, and Piglet gets locked up, knocked up by Mighty Bear, and he goes down. And all that TL can get for it is the Poppy.
And it's a big mistake on the side of TL. Their threats need to be grouped. Cassiopeia is actually really good at peeling for Vayne because of the threat of the Petrifying Gaze and all the damage she does in short range. But instead, Peanut was looking for an angle into the fight in the mid lane, couldn't get into it. And then on the other side, it was very much Golden Glue and Lorlo grouped as a flanking threat for those two, so they didn't get anything from it. They turn on to Baron, and it should be easy stuff.
Yeah, there it is. It goes down. Matt not going to be able to get close enough to try to find a steal. And the second Baron goes through, this time the Giants.
The big story here is you have to watch the threats. Watch where Piglet is and watch where the Cassiopeia is. So Lorlo works out that his job is to zone for the other hyper carry, which is the Cassiopeia in this stage. So they kite upwards. For now, Piglet's like already altered. He can't find somewhere into the fight. He has to respect the gravity field. Rainover goes in, but is still not tanky. Let's be clear. Hecarim only gets so tanky. And at this point, Nautilus and Cassiopeia are out of the fight. They turn on to Piglet. 1 CC, he's dead predictably. Well fought by Giants. They had to really think through that engage, because if they somehow let Golden Glue and Piglet run free, they've already felt the brunt of the damage they can put out.
Yep. So Giants now going to be in a nice spot. Can empower those super creeps charging down the mid lane, and maybe start trying to knock down those Nexus turrets, or just go for this remaining outer turret in the top lane, as the wave is already kind of pushed up towards that side of the map. They're in a very good spot, but TL still not down yet. Only a 3,000 gold difference at 35 minutes. One fight can change the tides of this entire game.
Actually a teleport from Poppy into the lane, so no sort of flank teleport here. They're just trying to make a fast rotation, but...
Yeah, not going to be going for a split either onto that inhibitor in the inhibitor turret in the bottom side of the map. Matt clearing out as best he can with the mantra Qs. Low going to get rooted up. Rainover looking for the flank. There's a couple wards there, so they do spot him out, and he's not going to be able to clear them. Has the ultimate, has a Guardian Angel up for himself, so it gives him a little bit of tankiness.
Just feels like one positioning mistake will decide this game. Piglet or Golden Glue get taken down. So do the hopes of Team Liquid. Giants trying to set up the siege. They definitely have a siege advantage over their opponents when we've harped on about the lack of wave clear from TL, and TL probably smart. Not try and take the bait, just give up the outer turret, the inner turret, sorry, in top lane.
Yeah, very intelligently just going to go ahead and surrender that one.
Rainover's spotted.
Still looking for the flank here. They have not seen him yet. Hustling around to the side. Current call opened up. Piglet's already chunked out.
Time.
He's going to likely have to back off. Rainover shows himself in the back, takes a good burst of damage. And that's going to be the turret going down to get the dredge line in onto Flashix. And he's taking a hell of a lot, actually. One more hit from Piglet actually could have killed him. At that time, Dredgeline comes through yet again. Rainover's still trying to find a way in, but he can't. He's just getting chunked out. Golden Glue getting popped up in the Strangle Lords, but he's still alive and able to kite into the backside. That's going to be 2 kills coming in for Piglet so far as he takes out the Poppy and the Zyra. Guardian Angels goes down as Rainover gets popped. Knight, the Dredgeline connects. Rainover finds the kill. It's just Upset and Mighty Bear trying to get out of here with a tier line, but Piglet is hot on their heels, but has to respect the damage from this Jhin. Mighty Bear going to get rooted, stunned to the wall by the Condemned. That's 4 for TL. That's going to be the 5th one coming through as Upset goes down. Golden Glue picking it up. That's going to be the ace, and Team Liquid have swung this right back in their favor.
And we previewed it, Achilleos. If Cassiopeia and Vayne stay alive, there's a tank front line in front of them. Flaxix is not tanky against Vayne. It was actually a really nice W from Victor that stopped Flaxix from dying earlier. Piglet had held his ult to this point. Really nice kiting around, and suddenly Poppy dies, and they're like, crap, we have no one to close the distance onto this Vayne. Vayne and Cassiopeia put out the damage. Every target that's acquired is taken down. No one goes down of consequence on the side of Giants. And this game is blown wide open.
That it is. TL, though, not able to find anything off the backside of that engagement. Not in a position to move in and take any turrets. See, they are moving up into this mid lane at the moment. Still have 3 seconds on Mighty Bear, 10 on Upset before he comes back up. They're just trying to see if somebody wants to walk into the jungle, particularly Hustlin. They can get rid of him. That's a huge AoE zone control that they completely negate.
And the question that I have to ask now, regardless of the victory or loss here for TL, is, was the Vayne pick and everything it did to warp the early game worth it? Because this is just the reality. Sure, she is that late game team fighting beast, but they seeded multiple turrets. A different team might have been cleaner in closing out the game. They got a chance Baron just because Giants disrespected the potential smite steal from Reignover. And if the game had continued in the pace that it did when those 3 turrets were going down, this Vayne would never have hit the rift. So it's just, is it worth reaching?
Boy,
Speaking of reaching,
gonna get jumped on. Quick call shot's gonna get blocked. Now Mighty Bear might have been more than he can chew. That's gonna be a kill coming through from Piglet. The redemption coming down, but not gonna find a whole lot. Actually, it was the Stranglethorns, and they're not gonna get much off the backside of that. Piglet is weak, but he's got the lifesteal, so he's going to be charging himself back up as best as he can. And Giants fighting down through this choke, but here comes Reignover. He has the onslaught, a huge petrifying gaze as they catch the Poppy and Knight. He goes down, and Piglet is just chasing onto the Zyra. Look at that crit, 2 shots, and he goes down. Piglet coming up with a double kill in that fight. The rest of Giants just upset, and Flashix have to scramble. The GA pop, he's going to try to get out of here, but Reignover is hot on his heels, and TL are just knocking down the turrets.
I mean, if they just occupy the time of Poppy, there's nothing really left. It's only a Jhin who has no ultimate. How many objectives can TL take here? They want to end the game, and there's a very good chance they can do so.
Can they just go for it, though? It's 10 seconds left on Mighty Bear, 20 on Knight, and 25 on Hustlin. Reignover still keeping Flashix busy. The first turret getting ready to go down. They might have just done it. TL knocking down the second Nexus turret. There it is. It's exposed. Mighty Bear coming up, but I don't think he's going to be able to do a damn thing. The Nexus falls, and game 1 goes to Team Liquid, taking down Giants.
Team Liquid just about stuck the landing, but man, did they take so many risks in doing so. I think Giants, when they watch that one back, will see the areas where they could have turned on the pace, because for so much of this game, 75 to 80%, Piglet was a passenger. He could do nothing on the Vayne in the back line. He hit his items. Giants didn't close the game. You reach too far as a melee carry, and then you're going to be punished. If you can't get that last bit of damage, it doesn't matter how low Piglet is. He'll turn around and kill every tank in front of him, and there has to be frustration. You can see it pretty palpably on the faces of the Giants members, because so near, yet so far.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, Upset doing absolute work. Upset and Hustlin both absolutely carrying from that bottom lane, doing very much the most damage in the game, but in the end, TL getting that ace, stealing that Baron, the few things, those crucial steps that kept them alive in this game and allowed them to turn it around.
In the tank meta, you're only as strong as your front line, and 4 or 5 item Vayne makes very short work of a front line. Suddenly Victor's running in every direction, suddenly Jhin is running in every direction, and it doesn't matter how many damage items you have if your tanks can't do their job. And that's what Vayne does. She makes tanks irrelevant on a budget. The budget shouldn't have been granted. Somehow there was a surplus somewhere, and Vayne picked up the windfall, and with only so many invitations, Piglet finally took it and took down the game.
Yep, well, you can see Knight being insulted. We'll see if Giants can bounce back from this and tie up the score, or if TL is going to find their way into the semifinals. We'll be back in just a couple minutes with Game 2.